Justice League, the Snyder Cut. If you don't know what this is, I have a link in the description for this video to a video that I made several months back when it was announced that this was going to end up happening. So I'm not going to go through the whole backstory. I'm just going to give my thoughts. I came into this absolutely rooting for it, wanting it to work. I'm glad it exists, and I'll talk more about that the deeper we go into this video, but I so wanted it to work because I've seen interviews with Zack Snyder, and God, he just seems like the nicest guy. I'd love to sit down and have a beer with him. And the guy works so hard. He is a good director. Sometimes his directorial decisions bother me, but he is a good filmmaker. And so I wanted this to work. I came into this saying, you know what? I know this exists in a universe that I don't care for, but I'm going to come into it with as open a mind as you can possibly come into a movie. And I really hope this works. And I have seen it. And, well, let me explain. This is top to bottom, front to back, a better film than the 2017 theatrical cut. Absolutely, 100%. It's a more coherent narrative. The characters are better. The writing is better tonally. It is more consistent with the universe that Zack Snyder created. It is a better film. And if you're just going to watch this because you want to see something that was better, if you want to get the bad taste from the 2017 movie out of your mouth, then go ahead and watch this movie. I was not a huge fan of Ezra Miller as the Flash in the theatrical cut. I liked him quite a bit here. I thought he was well cast. I think he's one of the only characters that has real layers to him, real depth. I like the scenes with him and his dad, Billy Crudup, who's a very underrated actor. I like those scenes a lot. He's maybe my favorite character in this, and I'm quite surprised by that. Zack Snyder, whether you like him or not, is a visionary. This is his movie, and anytime you watch a Zack Snyder movie, it is very apparent you are watching a Zack Snyder movie, and that's why I always say he is a good director. You know when you're watching one of his films, whether you like it or not. And this is Zack Snyder turned up to 11. And to the people who like this universe and to the people who like his films, they are going to adore this. They'll probably say that this is one of the best movies of the year, if not one of their favorite movies of all time. I enjoyed the third act of this movie. I enjoyed the climax. It was very, very fun finally getting to see the Justice League come together in the way that Zack Snyder always intended for them to come together. Zack Snyder's a great action director, and the action is pretty cool, especially near the end. There's a lot of glimpses here into stuff that I would be more interested in seeing be fleshed out. Now, we'll never see it because I think this universe is dead. But there's little moments with Ben Affleck and Jeremy Irons, or Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot, or like I said, Ezra Miller and Billy Crudup, where I'm like, man, I'd like to see more of this. Like, I am kind of excited for a Flashpoint movie now because I liked what they did with that character in this movie. Those are my good things. On to the complaints. I don't really care for this movie at all. I didn't care for this film. I found it to be a bloated, dour, bleak, personality-less, ugly mess. The number one problem, and it's the problem I've had from the very start, I don't like this interpretation of the characters. They are so freaking boring. They're so dull. Zack Snyder is a good director. He is not a good writer, and he's not good at writing comic book characters. And I know what people are going to say. You just wanted it to be like Marvel. You wanted it to be light and funny and quippy. No, that's not the case. I'm so tired of this refusal to find a middle ground. Logan is one of my favorite movies of all time. That is not for kids. That is a hard R-rated movie, but you care about it because it has wonderful characters and great writing and James Mangold's brilliant direction and impactful, effective action and an ending that tugs at your heartstrings. That's a great movie, and it takes itself so seriously. The Dark Knight is my favorite film of all time. That takes itself seriously, but those movies had character. Those movies had personality. Every character in this movie is just a flat line. They've been that way from the beginning. I know I'm peeing in people's cornflakes, and I know there's people who are going to love this movie, and again, please, I'm not even being condescending. Enjoy it, please. I'm so happy. I really am happy that people are loving this. In general, I'm in the minority here. This movie has gotten very good reviews so far, but God, I watch these movies. I watch his interpretation of these characters, and I just say every time, this is wrong. This is so wrong. This is not the version of the characters that I want. And don't give me the whole, well, it's just too smart for you, because it's not smart. It fawns smarts. It has all this flowery dialogue. You were meant for great things. You're there to inspire. It's Very simple. It's a very simple premise. I just don't care for the interpretation. And again, I'm fine with the movie taking itself seriously. I have no problem with a comic book movie taking itself seriously. But the problem is, and that's the difference between this and The Dark Knight or this and Logan, is that those movies had premises that grounded them in reality. This movie is about a magic beast man with 3 large boxes trying to, terraform his own world again. That's kind of silly in the way that a giant purple man trying to get 6 stones and snapping his fingers to snap half the universe out of existence is silly. But there's zero self-awareness to how silly this premise is. And you have these characters, I'm Batman, I'm Aquaman, I'm Cyborg. And they're so just lifeless and charismaless. That's the other big problem. And I think it's been a running theme with a lot of Zack Snyder's movies. I think the cast here isn't very good. I think they're all, not all, a lot of them are miscast. Ben Affleck is good, but he's bored. He's doing Zack Snyder a favor, and hey, you know what? Good for him. He's earned a paycheck, and he's not bad in this. He's not. He's one of the better parts of it. Gal Gadot is still a bad actress. Somehow Patty Jenkins got her to find something in the first Wonder Woman, but she wasn't good in Batman vs. Superman. She wasn't good in Wonder Woman 1984. Now, she doesn't rape anybody like she did in that movie, so I guess in that way, I kind of like this character a little bit better. She's not very good in this either. Ray Fisher and Jason Momoa are completely void of charisma. That's their entire character. Drives me nuts. Because that's what I want to see in my superhero movies. It's like, you can't help but compare it to the Avengers and just how spoiled we've been with those movies. Those movies don't work because they have snappy one-liners. They don't. They work because they have great, well-casted actors giving sensational performances and really good dialogue. You so care about those characters. At the end of Avengers Endgame, you know how there's all those compilations online of people going nuts, screaming at the end of that movie. You know why? Because you have grown to love these characters. Every single one of the characters in the Justice League movie, an atomic bomb could have dropped on all of them 5 minutes in, and I wouldn't care. And again, that's subjective, but I really am curious. Again, I'm not trying to be condescending, truly. I want to ask the people who like this version of Batman, who like this version of Superman, who like this version of the Justice League, what is it about these characters that you relate to? What is it about these characters that you find endearing or enjoyable? Because I can't stand them. The movie's 4 hours, and it shouldn't be that long. You could lop an entire hour off of it. The last 30 minutes is a teaser trailer for a movie we're never going to see. Now, again, people who are fans of this movie and who are fans of this universe aren't going to care. They're going to love that, and they're going to be, oh man, maybe they'll restore the Snyder'S. Personally, I can't wait for a year from now when Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves come together and they show the world how to do Batman right and how to do a DC property right. With all of that said, we got to the very end of this movie, and the credits came up, and it said for Autumn. Autumn was Zack Snyder's daughter who committed suicide in 2017, and I don't like this movie at all, but it's his. It's Zack Snyder's, and whether you care for his version of these characters, which I don't, this is his film, and he put so much effort into this, and there's moments of it I liked, there's a lot of moments I didn't like, but I can't knock him for the attempt. I'm giving this a 5 out of 10, and there's part of me that wants to go lower, but I have to accept the fact that this version was never meant for me, and I don't care for it, but I really am excited for the legions of people who are going to fall in love with this the way that I fell in love with the Avengers universe, or the way that I fell in love with Nolan's Dark Knight movies. It's just not my style. That'll do it for this review. I'm sure this is going to be contentious to the 10 people who watch this and probably like the movie, but keep it civil, guys. It is just a film, and ultimately, the people who love this, you won. You got your movie, and it seems like everyone's loving it, and I'm happy you're loving it. So that'll do it for this review. You can like this video, subscribe to this channel, comment down below, let me know what you thought of this. I appreciate all of you sticking with me. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you later. Peace and happiness.